Greetings and welcome to our third session for Common Formative Assessment. It's certainly a pleasure to have you all back, and hopefully we all have an enjoyable and productive day. A couple of housekeeping chores here at the beginning of the day. First is that in each session of the facilitator packet should have an attendance sheet. Essentially, it is a blank sheet where people can sign their names who are present for this particular session. So if the facilitator would be sure that everybody signs that sheet, and the facilitator keeps the sheet, and we'll try to pick it up later today. That will be our process for keeping attendance. The second item is many of you are taking the Common Formative Session learning sessions for credit. We would like for you to send the completed template that you should have received for credit to two people. One, to the facilitator of your particular group, and secondly, please send it to Jan Babarek, and that would be, her email address is jbaburek@gwaea.org. And if you could have that sent to the facilitator and Jan by a week from today, that would be great. Our schedule for today is in front of you at this point in time. It is similar to the previous session. We do have some screencast videos that I'll talk about in a few moments that are in that 8:45 time segment, or you can use them at another time during the day, and I'll elaborate about those in a little bit. Another item that's a little bit different is, you might notice, in the afternoon from 1 to 2:45 is the suggestion that you would begin to develop your third and fourth CFA or assessments. We're thinking that you may have time to actually take a look at two different units of instruction, one that's coming soon and another one that's later on in the school year, and work with your entire group on that, or I know in some groups you're dividing into smaller little groups, and work with that group of individuals to develop a third and a fourth CFA for using later in the year. Some of the goals for today is that each person will hopefully increase your understanding of some content in the following three areas. First is the growth mindset. There's a video/screencast available for that. And I think you'll find that this particular video information will allow us to have some understanding that what we're really trying to do from a theoretical perspective in the CFA sessions is focus on the growth mindset type of thinking. So we really encourage you to take a look at that video and spend some time with individuals within your group reflecting on how that might influence some of your current teacher practices, or maybe allow you to reflect on some things you might want to change. I think many of us are finding as we've been in the CFA sessions that writing high quality questions is really a challenge. I know many times in the past, we rely on textbook-provided assessment questions or assessment questions that were written by someone else. And in this series of workshops, we are the ones who are trying to write the questions, and we're trying to write them so that they're well aligned to the intent of the language within a standard. And the information that's available in the screencast on writing quality questions, I think, will give you some further ideas to ponder as you move forward with writing your questions. Another set of information that's in a video or /screencast is how to provide effective feedback to students. All of us have obviously for years provided feedback to students, but I think sometimes this is a category of teaching practice, feedback, where we haven't necessarily really thought a lot about what's really an effective approach from the research perspective of providing feedback to students. So this, I think, is a very valuable video, again, to take a look at and to consider with your colleagues and think about, well, what am I doing well according to this video at this point, and what might I ponder to tweak a bit in my practices in the days to come. So that is one of our goals for today. Another goal is each of you will be collaborating with members of your team to review and plan further instruction for your assessment. Again, we're suggesting, as is implied in the third goal, is that each group might want to write assessment questions for up to 2 units of instruction, maybe one for the one that's coming up earliest and one that's further down the road. So we think there should be time during the course of the day to potentially write assessment items for 2 different units of instruction. One of our big goals for all of these sessions has been that this is a journey to try to help us improve our teaching in the area of making sure that our teaching is aligned to a standard and that we're using strategies that are relevant for that particular standard, and particularly that we're trying to then develop assessment items that are highly aligned to the standard or to the goal of our learning. And furthermore, then take a look at that assessment information and decide, based on how students responded or how students performed, what our next approach in instruction ought to be. Even though formally we will not have any other sessions this year for the group that has come together the last 3 times, we do hope that maybe we have created an opportunity for some of you. Obviously, you're working primarily in some instances with people only from your district, but in some cases it's across districts. With the type of technology now available for us, we hope that you continue to try to interact with your group partners in your group throughout the coming year. So best wishes to achieving that and continuing communication with members of your team after today. Another item that is actually immediately after the opening comments that I will soon be concluding is a video. My favorite, no learning from mistakes. The goal of this video is to allow you to explore a strategy that a particular teacher, who happens to be a math teacher in this case, is using that we thought maybe was a little bit unique, and allow you to, it's a very short video, spend some time in viewing that and then interacting with people in your group regarding the strategies this particular teacher demonstrates, and would that strategy or some modification of that strategy be effective for you and the instruction and teaching that you're engaged in. So, most importantly, we hope you have a very enjoyable day, a worthwhile day, and an opportunity to work with colleagues in your particular group to further your development of assessment knowledge. So, thanks and best wishes.